Hello everyone, my name's Michael Mehmet. Jonathan's asked me just to put a little clip together about how I use Facebook to basically engage with my students. So, hence the blue and white flick down. So, I'll just have a little chat about why I use Facebook, some tips and tricks that I've learned over the last few years, some governance matters, and I'll demonstrate with an example. So, as you can see for my digital Comms 112 subject that I ran last year, actually first year undergrads, very familiar with Facebook, very familiar with technology, so plus the subject was about digital communication, so it was a pretty good fit. I developed a little one of these things on iMovie, so basically it just gave students a little bit of an introduction into exactly what we'll be doing. So, and it also introduced my sometimes odd sense of humour, and as you can see with my PhD, boosted my credentials. Anyway, what I did for students, I had internals as well as distance, and I did the same thing with both. What I got them to do is actually ask for a volunteer to set it up. What this did straight away was get me to see who in the class was actually willing to participate, and also who in the class was enthusiastic and knowledgeable about Facebook. So as you can see, Lucy was the one that jumped to it. I only had 17 students in this subject, and I actually had 16 of them join Facebook, which was pretty good. As you would expect, it started off, a little bit, hello, thank you for joining, blah blah blah. But what I noticed really quickly was my first post got 1 like, but as students started to get involved with it to a deeper degree, I actually got students to post what they were doing for their major assessment tasks on here, so that reinforced the behaviour that this is where we would interact. I posted, actually it wasn't me, it was Lucy, posted material from class about what we were doing, and that was quite good, and I actually started posting files in here as well. Now, I did post them in Interact as well, but I noticed that a lot of students, especially my distance students, preferred using Facebook for a lot of things, and primarily that was because that's where they were spending most of their time already, and it was just easier for them to, engage with the material in that space. As the session went on, I would post things that I would find interesting. I would post files, but also students would actually started posting material and actually commenting, and that discussion got broadened out to theoretical discussions, but I'll just cruise up. It also got to a point where we actually started developing products online. So one of the ideas that we had was to develop a company called Monty Jeans Co., who developed jeans for people with large butts, so we called them Jiggle Jeans. And we actually developed YouTube clips, or Jack developed one, and we developed a whole bunch of other advertising and promotional material all around this particular topic. What I also noticed was I also had the group open to externals, so a few employers actually started to join our group and participate in conversations. And I'll just find that post where we actually got job offers for students through the Facebook page. So there was a few internships, and there was even someone who actually got a full-time position out of the Facebook page. So what employers saw was a group of students who were active in a space where they wanted them to be active in. They understood that they had the digital skills to actually not only develop material but also analyse it. And it also demonstrated to them that they had a high level of proficiency in networking, which is an also big major trait for digital for those working digital communication. And here's where, and interesting, I know it's quite provocative, but we actually had one student who was doing American Apparel as a case study, and there was another student that found an article, so Asha posted this on here for Lucy to see, and that actually got a discussion going. So I found it, and I still do find it, quite an interactive meeting where students are willing to help other students because it's in a space that they feel comfortable with, but also posting information from Facebook into a Facebook page is actually really simple. you just press two buttons, sometimes one. And as you can see, February, this class finished last October. I still got students checking out the page for insights I put in, and students are still working together and still communicating, as you can see here with Luke, who's actually left, but there's still that sense of community going. So a few little tips. One is governance. You need to be really clear what students can and can't say in the space. I haven't had really a problem yet, and you being the owner of this particular page, as you can see, it's a secret group. You can delete comments that you think are inappropriate anyway, so there's no real issue there. The other thing is that students actually, as you can see, end up taking the lead, and so it requires less work from you, and you have a wider sense of resources that you can tap into. You can still add your files. You can even create polls. So if you wanted to, you could ask students, what do you want to see more of, and they could do that. And you can even plan events. So if you've got assessments coming up, you can even throw them in here, just so students get reminded on their phones, which they look at 15 million times a day anyway. Alrighty.